From one briefing to another, the Education MEC in the province, that's Gauteng province, Lebogang Maile, currently giving feedback on issues raised during the province-wide It Takes a Village to Raise a Child community outreach program. Naturally, he's also spoken about a number of other issues, including the 2027 online admissions process. Apparently already 500,000 applications have been received. Maile is still speaking. Let's listen in.
LSEN cases assessed and supported, vacancies filled, governance interventions completed, financial control improvements implemented, safety interventions activated, and sport and cultural facilities assessed, repaired or returned to use. Unannounced school visits will continue because they allow us to test reported progress against conditions on the ground. Districts must monitor implementation. Head office line functions must account for matters assigned to them, and executive management must be able to identify bottlenecks requiring intervention. Reporting back must therefore become a continuous cycle of listening, assigning, implementing, monitoring, and returning to communities with evidence of what has changed. We recognize that not every matter can be solved immediately. Some require substantial capital investment, procurement, additional personnel, or cooperation across spheres of government. But no legitimate matter should remain without a response. Communities must know whether a matter has been resolved, is under implementation, is awaiting procurement, requires funding, has been escalated, or cannot presently be implemented, and why. The success of this outreach program will not ultimately be measured by the number of halls we filled or meetings we convened. It will be measured by whether a broken school is repaired, an overcrowded classroom is relieved, and unplaced learner enters a school, a learner with a disability receives support, a school receives the furniture and materials it needs, a dangerous environment becomes safer, a vacant leadership position is filled, public money is protected, and a young person gains access to sport, arts, and cultural opportunity. We have listened, but listening is only the first stage. We have already used the engagements to resolve and clarify matters directly, to connect communities with senior and executive managers responsible for delivery, to refer technical matters to the correct line functions, and convert recurring concerns into a structured program of action. The period ahead is about closing the loop. What has been solved must remain solved. What has improved must be sustained. What is underway must be completed. What requires resources must be prioritized transparently. What requires coordination must be escalated, and what has been promised must be tracked until government can return to the community an account. That is how community participation becomes delivery. That is how reporting back becomes accountability. And that is how It Takes a Village to Raise a Child becomes not merely an outreach program, but a practical method of governing with communities and solving problems together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MEC. Colleagues, MEC and DPG Gerard are going to be taking your questions and responding. I will then take your name, the media house you come from. Then, yeah. Let's start. Number one. Number two.
They must stay down. Yeah,
yes. Your name is media house. Number one. Number two. Number three. Number four. Number five. Let's start. Number one.
Good morning, MEC. I'm here from Eyewitness News. I apologize to... Sorry?
You said?
I'm from Eyewitness.
Oh, I thought your name has changed now. Okay.
I apologize, MEC, for starting with this question, but I just want to get your comments following the passing of Izzy Kumalo, the spokesperson of the ANC, and obviously our condolences. Can you just get your reaction to that as ANC?
Number two.
Thank you so much. My name is Mpane Zanibe. I'm from Tembisa Online News.
Mfanele.
Thank you. MEC, I just wanted to find out how far, in terms of the intervention with the electricity issues in schools, because I know that some of the primary schools and schools in Tembisa are still without electricity. Just to mention one, just Kudasizwe and others. Thank you so much.
Good morning, MEC. My name is Bafedi Lemarani from ENCA. I think you would have seen that as ENCA we've been covering the issues of safety in schools here in Gauteng, and I understand that 75 of the schools here are flagged as high risk. I just want to get maybe a full response from you as to what measures are you putting in place, because some of the education stakeholders here that we spoke to are calling for deployment of security officers, to be in school premises 24 hours. And they are also saying that the South African Police Service should also be rolled in. What's your take? What do you think should be a better approach?
Good morning, MEC and other officials. It's Anna Sholan from Newsroom Africa. I've got two questions. So the first question is, out of the issues that you have identified, MEC, through the program, what are the three most urgent challenges that you have identified? And how many schools were identified as requiring urgent intervention? And is there a specific criteria that was used to determine which schools will get assistance first? Thank you.
Number 5, corner.
My name is Lebogang Maile from SABC News.
It's who?
Lebogang Maile from SABC News. The question is about the sports facilities, and then we just wanted to know who is responsible for maintaining school sports facilities. The other question is, and why are some school sports fields and other facilities being allowed to deteriorate to a point where the last can no longer use them safely?
Thank you. Let me see the panel. Yeah, no, thanks for the questions. Let me start by I'm not sure if ANC or legislature has already issued a formal statement, so I didn't make so I wouldn't have wanted to announce a funeral when I'm not authorized to. But now that you have asked the question, I would like to take this opportunity to convey my heartfelt condolences to the family of a dear brother, a friend and a comrade who we have shared a lot of common interests, including studying law, and we were busy communicating about our articles. He had started already, and just yesterday he had sent me a message, very excited that he will be starting to preside his first case on the 28th of August. And I congratulated him and wished him well, and he said to me, "Thank you, my brother, you will be following the same path as soon as well." So we have fought a lot of battles together. We have shared trenches, and we have known each other since our days when I was in COSAS in the ANC Youth League, and We've worked together in different structures, including in government, when he was a mayor and when he was the MEC. So we will miss him because he had a lot to still contribute in building our country and in also helping us to renew the African National Congress. So his wisdom, his commitment, his loyalty will be sorely missed by us, those who knew him and who worked with him for a very long time. So he was a very reliable and dependable cadre of the African National Congress. Finally, the issue of electricity. We did say, firstly, that the department gives schools money to pay for water and electricity. We will also want to refer you to the statement that we issued on water and electricity. If you don't have a copy, I think we'll get you a copy because we dealt comprehensively with that issue. And one of the things we said there was that we would want to look at the process of centralizing and taking back that function from the schools, because we are looking at the possibility of implementing a PPP and making sure that we also work on taking schools off the grid, because it is very irresponsible, reckless, and it shows lack of leadership on the part of municipalities for disconnecting schools. And that's why, in the meantime, and I'm warning the municipalities for the last time today, whatever school that is disconnected must be connected immediately. And if they don't do that, we are going to explore our legal options, because you can't disconnect schools. Whilst at the same time, we want to urge our schools to pay because they've got the money. But municipalities shouldn't be allowed. There's a High Court ruling about Tshwane, one of the schools, to that effect, and we think we will probably use that as an opportunity to ask the judiciary to protect schools from this recklessness, because it's reckless and irresponsible. We can't be switching off schools, because some municipalities have seen schools as an easy target, because they can't collect from households and they think that the department has got money and therefore the department will pay. The department doesn't have. The money that is there is with the schools. And even that money with the schools is limited. And many schools have complained to us that sometimes they are overcharged. And some schools have complained that some of the municipalities are refusing to give them meters and all that. So that issue is a concern to us. The issue of school safety is very important for us. You will remember as well that we issued a statement on violence and crime in schools. We'll also refer you to that statement. But the first thing is that we've got a safety strategy with 7 pillars that we are busy reviewing. That's the first thing. But the second thing, you would have seen that we are starting with raids, with what we call search and seizures in different schools. We started in a school in Carltonville called Badiril, and then we went to other schools in Orange Farm on the same day. Those raids are going to continue, announced and unannounced, meaning the media might be told about others and you may not be told about others. And because we are very concerned about crime and violence in schools. And we are already spending 165 million for the deployment of patrollers in schools. We are already working with the Department of Community Safety for the deployment of traffic wardens to schools. We are working with the South African Police Services because the protection of all citizens is the responsibility of the South African Police Services. The only budget we have is for education purposes, which is what we are using for, and unfortunately we will not be able to afford deployment of security. We don't have that money. Already, as I've said, we've got schools that are not having desks, that are not having chairs, shortages of LTSM, shortages of educators. Whatever money we have to prioritize those. And that's why we are working with the South African Police Services. We are working, and with the limited resources that we have, we are already spending 165 million. So safety, it is a concern for us, and that's why we are saying it can't be the responsibility of government alone. Communities must work with us to protect the schools and to fight criminality. Zama, why did I write? Yeah, Zola. Why did I write Zama? Zola. Zola, you know, infrastructure is, I think, one of the biggest problems. And then, because if it's not resolved, we are not able to deal with overcrowding. So that's the first problem. And then shortage of furniture in schools. It's another problem. There are kids that don't have desks and chairs, and in fact, in certain communities, schools, that becomes a source of fights because kids end up fighting for desks and chairs. So we have to make sure that they have enough furniture. The third issue I can identify as which will soon become a problem. It's not yet a problem, but soon it will be because of the numbers. When you look at the registration online, as I'm speaking to you now, there's about 451,000 applications. As I speak to you now, I've got 105,786 grade 8 learners who have applied. We've got 93,864 grade 1 applications. So I've got a live, I'm able to look at this every minute to monitor it. It basically says that we've got a lot of learners who will be coming into the system, and it means we will need teachers, not just schools. You can have schools, but you can have furniture, but if you don't have teachers, you're going to have a problem. So that is the other issue. But another issue is this crime and violence in our schools. And I can go on and on about the challenges, and all of them are important and they have to be tackled, because if you are not able to resolve these issues, they directly or indirectly impact on education. And then, and the criterion, Zola, it's not going to be easy to say school is more important than educator. So Sorry, I think you were saying which school will be helped first and all that. Unfortunately, all our, or rather most of our schools are facing big problems. For instance, we did a study that tells us to deal with occupational health and safety of all our buildings, our schools, we need to have 27 billion rands. Yes, we need to have 27 billion rands. To build 200 more schools, we need to have 35 billion rands. So that's why we are saying we are dealing with emergencies for now, because there are schools that are not habitable. Those will have to be prioritized, whilst we are also looking at alternative ways of raising money and dealing with these challenges. Kopano, you are saying who's responsible for maintenance of schools? It's schools. They are in schools. We give schools money. About 12% of it is infrastructure, maintenance. And then the combi codes that we put now in the schools, they take 10 to 15 years before they could be maintained and all that, because we are taking that into consideration. And then you are saying why school sports facilities are allowed to deteriorate. I don't know.
Not just a number of a number of schools, especially in the community. They are not being fixed. If I could say, they are not being fixed, and then you may find that, especially there's a school in Kilville for the primary school. There is no sports currently at school. There's no netball court. It's deteriorated. So I just wanted to know from you, LC, is there any money maybe that will be allocated for such schools to ensure that learners are able to play sports, especially in primary schools?
We need 600 million to ensure that there is sports facility in every school. 600 million. So we don't have it. We need, as I've just said, 27 billion to deal with occupational health and safety. We need 35 billion to build more schools. So we need money, and that's the problem. So our biggest problem is that the resources are limited and the needs are increasing by the day, because every year you've got 50 million learners coming into the Gauteng education system every year. So the challenges we're facing are huge. So we know that we have to have 600 million to build facilities, not only in that school, in many other schools. And if you check the statement, we are saying we have started, and we are giving you numbers of the schools that we have started with. As to whether that school is part of it or not, I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you, colleagues. Is there a follow-up questions, a round of follow-up questions? Number one, number two, number three.
These are live pictures we're beaming to you from Bramley, the Gauteng Education Department holding a media briefing on a wide range of issues led by MEC Lebogang Maile, who's spoken about a lot of education-related matters, including, of course, concerns that some schools are being disconnected because of unpaid electricity bills. He sent quite a stern warning to municipalities that are doing this, by the way, saying as far as he's concerned, these schools are being targeted and it is a reflection of a lack of leadership. I don't imagine that will necessarily land well, especially when you consider that some of these schools are being accused of not settling their debt. That's despite the fact that the department does give them some kind of equitable share to do exactly that. Insofar as the grades 1 and 8 online registrations are concerned, we're told that just about 500,000 applications have been received. Of those, 93,000 are grade 1 applications. Lebogang Maile naturally also being asked about capacity to essentially respond to the demand for schooling. He says the department would need 35 billion rand to build the kind of capacity that is needed in order to ensure that everyone does get a place and on time.